All right, everybody, it's Monday. Here we go. We're looking at distribute, combine like terms, remove the extra variable, and get rid of what's added, subtracted, multiply, divide. Those are the 5 main steps that we do in solving equations. Today we're looking at 3 steps, but it'll be combine like terms, get rid of what's added, subtracted, and multiply, divided. There's going to be no distribute, there's going to be no extra variable, and we'll get to that in a second. So if I look at this problem right here, what I'm going to look at is there's no parentheses. So that distribute is not going to happen. Then I look to see if I can combine any like terms. Of course, I want to look on side because this is the simplification process. There's nothing over here that can be combined. It's only a 6. But over here, I do see 2 things that can be combined. And Ryan, what 2 things can be combined over here? It's either they have a variable that's the same or they don't have a variable. So what do you think? The 1 and the 5. Excellent. That's +1, so we can just put that in front if we want to. It's 1 plus 5 is 6. And we look at everything that we did not have circled. That 6 comes down, the equals comes down, and that plus 3n will come down. Now, this puts us right back where we were at before when we had the last 2 steps. We look to see what is added and subtracted, so we're not even looking at that stuff up there anymore. Those numbers are gone, they're dead to us. We're looking here. This is a whole new problem. So hang on, I'm recording, bud. So I need to find out which one is added, because there's no extra variable. There's no variable over here, so we skip that step. There's a variable here, but not here. So we go to step 4, which is what's added or subtracted. Well, we look for that. This 3 is attached to that n, which means 3 times n, so it's the other number. So since this is plus 6, we're going to subtract 6 from both sides of the equation. Some of us still having a little bit of an issue with that part, but we know that our opposite operations are gone. But over here, because this is not the side with the variable, over here we still need to do 6 minus 6. And the biggest thing, everybody's like, well, what happens? They're gone. Well, no, they're actually a 0. And it's okay to have an answer of 0. We bring down that 3n, and we finish it out. What is, because we still have 3n equals 0, we don't have just n. Well, we still do the division. It doesn't matter about that 0. Because 3 times n, the opposite is divide by n, or sorry, divide by 3. We cancel those off. We have n remaining over here. Not cancel, I hate that word. But they become 1. 1 times n is n. Well, 0 divided by 3 in your calculator is going to be 0. All right, so n, the value of n is 0. It's okay to have 0. That means that I just go up to wherever there's n and put 0 in there. And if you know at the top, if I put 0 in here for n, 3 times n is 0, or 3 times 0 is 0. 1 plus 5 is 6. Well, 6 does equal 6. So it does work out in this equation. I wanted to show you an example of that because you're going to have one of those on there. Let's look at number 2. Try to cover up this problem here on the bottom. There we go. Make sure that you draw your line down the center. Once again, Mr. Chris, can we distribute? No, there's no parentheses. Can we combine like terms on this side? No. Can we combine over here? Yes. What can we combine? Yeah, we can combine the 4 and the 7 because they don't have a variable, okay? So 4 plus 7 is 11. We bring down the r, the equals, and the 3. And guys, you need to put, check it out right here, you need to put that plus sign in there because 11 is positive. So we'll use that as a plus. All right, and it goes to the last 2 steps. Remove what is added or subtracted to the variable. Well, it's obviously r plus 11. So you're going to subtract 11. And this one's nice because guess what you're left with here? What happens to our opposite operations? They're gone, right? We're left with r. And 3 minus 11 is what? -8. Very good. Now, if you chose, and check this out because some of you, I can already tell because you did this before, is you've automatically put a 1 in front of there. And that's okay. I mean, if you can just knock the 1 off, or you can divide by 1 and these are gone, and you're still left with negative 8 because negative 8 divided by 1 is negative 8. You could have just left it as r, because anytime you have a 1, that 1, you can get rid of it. So you could have come down here with 1r and just scribbled it off, and it's still just r equals negative 1 or negative 8. Or if you put the 1 on it and you wanted to divide by 1, that's fine too, just to get in the habit. I don't care, but either way, it works out to be the correct answer, okay? Some people like to put the 1 immediately, and for me, if there's no 1 on the only variable, I don't put the 1 on there because I know that saves me an entire step. So let's take a look at this one, Ryan. Can you tell me can we combine like terms here, Ryan? Yeah, negative 2n and 5n are alike because they both have a n. Now, if there was an n squared in there, obviously that couldn't go together. But yes, because they both have an n. This is about the variable or not having a variable, and they have to be the same type of variable, whether the same letter or the same power, because n squared is not the same as n, okay? Or as n to the first power is what that is. So when we add that together, we have negative 2 plus 5, that's 3n. And then we just bring everything else down, the 6, the negative 15, and the equals. And note here we have that negative, so we can just use that as a minus, and that's fine. We're going to look at, is there an extra variable? By the way, we couldn't distribute, we combined like terms. There's no extra variable over here. So then we're going to add and subtract. Which one? Which number? We're going to add 6. Is 6 positive or negative over here?
Oh, subtract.
It's plus, so we're going to subtract 6. Yeah, you have to look in front of it, not behind it. That negative belongs to the 3, or the minus belongs to the 3, which once it's gone, will be that negative, or that minus will turn into a negative. So it's just what it is. Now our opposite operations, our plus to minus of 6's is gone. We bring down the minus 3n, negative 15 minus 6 is negative 21. And Chris, what's our final step? Always. This is negative 3 times n, so how do we get rid of negative 3 times? What's the opposite of times? We're going to divide it. Always, Chris. This happened 850,000 times already this year. All right. Our opposite operation of negative 3 times divided by negative 3, they're gone. They become 1. 1 times n is n. And then we're going to do negative 21 divided by negative 3 is 7. All right? Anybody have that? Do we notice that it's always the same process? It's always the same process. The numbers just change. You're always doing those 5. You're always thinking, can I distribute? You're always thinking, can I combine like terms? You're always thinking, do I have an extra variable on the one side? And these problems right now, we're not going to have that. And then it's the add, subtract, multiply, divide. And we've done this for weeks now, almost over a month. We've done these last 2 steps. Those should be there. Those should be, I think you're getting caught up on numbers that everything, well, it's always changing. It's a different problem. It may be different numbers, but it's not a different problem. It's the same problem. It's just different numbers. So let's separate this one. What are our like terms here in this? There's no like terms over here. Anybody on this side?
Plus 8.
Yeah, it's both 8s. And why both 8s? Why are they alike? Because they both have what? Or don't have what?
A variable.
They don't have a variable, right? So a plus 8 is 16. Bring down the 22, the equals, and the 2v. Am I done? Does that look right? Or do I need something here?
Plus.
Yeah, because 16 is positive, we're going to use that positive as plus. Yeah, so that's right. There's no extra variable, right? So we skip that step, but there is something add or subtract to the variable, and it's pretty easy. If I cover up the 2, I can see v plus 16. If I cover up the 16, I can just see that's 2 times v. So yes, we're going to subtract 16. 22 minus 16 is, I believe it's 6. Yeah, it's 6. Yeah, and then the last one, absolutely. Do you notice that when we get to the end, we've gotten rid of, pretty much we're going to try to get rid of as many fractions as we possibly can to the end. Hopefully you won't have a fraction here where it's division, but if you do, we just do its reciprocal, and we learned that earlier this year. But for the most part, most of these, you're going to be dividing here at the end. You just divide by that number that is in front of the V. 3 equals V, or V equals 3, either way around, right? So there it is, in a nutshell. You guys here, if you haven't written it down, that's okay. I have these copies, you can grab them. For the rest of you at home, get on there. If you need any help, email me or meet me at 150. And if I don't jump on there by accident, I did set my alarm. I made sure that this morning. So I will try to get on there right away to make sure that we can see you. If not, email me and we can figure out a time. Have a good day.